What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be converting all my EVAP system on my 2000 Integra LS, because obviously we K-swapped it as a K20Z3. We have all the existing EVAP system in here from the previous engine, which was a B18, I believe B1. I'm going to make it work with the current ECU setup and with my current engine. I went ahead and did all these schematics off camera. Obviously for this video, I am going to be detailing a little bit more about what I did and what pins I'm putting. I'm going to be referring back and forth on my phone because obviously I wrote them down on my phone. But hopefully, you know, pray to God that it does work. I checked them out, RSX ECU versus a B18 ECU, and they both check out. They both have a total of 6 pins connected to the ECU, which checks out, and there is, I think, a total of 4 components or 5 components that are corresponding with ECU inputs. So I want to say is something that I have high hopes that it's going to work. Off the bat, the EVAP purge cylinder right here works flawlessly once it's connected to the ECU. I believe there's an input or a parameter on K-Pro for it to make it work, but I checked the wiring because I was comparing them, and I do not have to do anything, because once you put the conversion harness, the engine harness, all of it, it's already on the ECU. Because I believe from that alone, the PCS, which is what is competing for, what is actually coming out in the ECU, is already on like plug B or something like that. So that's something that I do not have to worry about. And the other things I do I'm pretty much converting over, like if it was like K series, but putting all the stuff from the B18 that was here before on the chassis harness onto it. But let's get right into the video. I'm sorry about the fan, super hot like I was telling you guys, but I'm gonna start detailing the components that you're going to be swapping over. I'm not going to go over the RSX ones. There are too many of them that are labeled, but the RSX and the chassis, the Integra chassis, share 6, I believe it's 6 pins that are same components that are compatible, and those are the only ones that are coming up that you need. Everything else is pretty much running to it, and as you've seen in the schematic, but there's no input from the ECU. So the B series and the K series ECU both share those identical pins that are going to the ECU. Keep in mind, I have a 2000 Integra LS, and this is OBD2. Not sure what type of OBD, but the RSX still has an OBD2 as well, which made it really easy to do. Obviously this is a harder route versus the 96 charcoal canister from a Civic DX. If you were just to pop up in there, because it's all vacuum control, there's no input from the ECU whatsoever on that aspect. Maybe on other wires that are locating on other aspects, I do not know. I know my EG has a charcoal canister that is not controlled by the ECU, so fairly easy when I put the 96 one on it. It's just enabling the purge cylinder valve on K-Pro, which I've never done, but I'm gonna check. But I heard and I read that there's an enabling option or parameter in there. Alright, so now I'm going to be talking about the sensors that the RSX and the B series, well, the Integra share, that are common, that I was able to pin out, and I believe it's going to work. Obviously this is a B series, so the rest of the EVAP system is wired for if I was to have the B series. We opted for a K series, and you know, it is a return system, the same as a B series, so in theory it should work. And all the wirings that I was able to find in the schematics are pretty much the same. I noticed that between the RSX ECU and the B series ECU, they both share, when it comes to the EVAP system, identically 6 pins that go directly to the ECU. So it's 1 for 1 pretty much, because that's what both of them actually are requiring. The only thing I think I saw that was different was this one has a 3-way valve in here, and then the RSX has a 2-way valve, but there's no inputs on that, as in like the ECU is having inputs on none of that stuff. So that works out, because everything else that I was able to find that are input from the RSX, same inputs as this B series as well. It helps out that they're both OBD2 systems, which is very, very helpful in that, because it's just, you know, they're not quite identical, but they're on the same pretty much path, because it's OBD2. They both share the same thing. Keep in mind, this is a little bit more sophisticated way, because I have to transfer everything over. I thought that it was working, but it's not, because I started looking, realizing, and the scent of the vapors is hitting me. This one is not, I believe it was an OBD1, and then obviously when you put the K series, you're making it OBD2, but the rest of the other stuff that's still in the vehicle essentially is still from OBD1. So this one's a little bit harder if we were to do that. Luckily, all I gotta do is just pop a 96 Civic DX shark canister, which is operated by vacuum, and then you're done, which that will be a simpler option if you want to do. But we're going to do this method because it's part of the car, and obviously it's a 2000, and this is the way it came, and I believe I was able to crack it. I've never seen any videos of this. I've been searching, and you know people have, there's old forums like from I want to say maybe like 10 years or plus ago, people trying to do something like this, but this is not a subject that's really popular. Most people don't care. They actually do eliminate it, and but for those people that are interested in doing this and live in an area where you get tested, like emission tested, and you have a K series which you want to run clean and I guess pass your emissions and stuff like that, then by all means this video is for you guys. And I want to have my car running like it's supposed to, like if it came from factory, and so I did my homework on this. Obviously I'm going to make sure it works before I publish this, because I don't want to look like a fool, but it's a challenge and I want to embark on it. But let me stop talking and get right into the components that are sharing. Alright, so the first one we're going to be talking about is going to be the EVAP purge solenoid, right there, or valve. So that one on the RSX, it's actually, there's two wires, a black and yellow and a blue and yellow, but I'll get into them a little bit further when it comes to me pinning out these stuff, so that way I'm not putting a lot in one session here. But essentially that one on the RSX, it's being protected on the fuse by, I believe, the AGC or something like that, and on the B series, which that's what matters because that's what we currently have in the car, I believe is the main relay, the one that is responsible for the circuit on the fuse for that one. And you don't have to do anything to that one. That's the freebie right there. I believe it's a total of 4, the ones that share the inputs to the ECU, a total of 6 pins they go to the ECU. But this one right here, I'm not really counting it. Well, it is counted, but this one you don't have to do anything, because once you put the engine harness and conversion harness, that one's already pretty much done for you, because it's all connected to the B plug, I believe. And from my understanding, you could activate or enable it on your parameters if you have K-Pro. So I didn't know that. I have to get in there and find it. That's what I read. But people have used it and they say it works. So that's a freebie right there. Then the next one you're gonna have to look for is going to be the vent, the canister vent release valve. I believe that's what it's called. So that one has 2 wires as well. And on the RSX, I believe it's not being protected by anything. Oh, I believe, yes, I believe it shares the same as the ACG, on my understanding. I will put it here if I'm wrong or not. I have to double check. A lot of information. But on the B series, I believe it's actually being protected, well, circuit wise, by the alternator SP valve or release valve or something like that. And it also coordinates on circuit wise with the one we're going to get into, the solenoid bypass valve as well. That one's also circuit protected by the alternator SP sensor as well. And that's another one we're going to be jumping into as well, that it's both shared by both chassis. It's going to be that one, the EVAP bypass solenoid valve. That's also shared as well. And then the last one that's also shared by both chassis is going to be the fuel tank pressure sensor. So the B series and the RSX both share the same sensor, and it's 3-wire sensor as well. So that one also, it's the same as an RSX. So crossing my fingers, crossing everything that we're going to do it right. I'm kind of scared because, you know, I never seen this done, and I don't know if sometimes you do stuff and you kind of question yourself to see if you're doing it right, but I don't know. It's like I haven't seen no forums, and then I started reading schematics, and I think I was able to pull it off because it's the exact same thing that they both share on the ECU, and essentially is going to think that I still have a B series in here when it comes to the EVAP system, but it's being commanded by a completely different ECU, obviously, because it's an RSX K series ECU. But nonetheless, they both share the same thing as the B series. Well, what we currently have, because current K series are a returnless system, but this is obviously made into a return system because it flows back to the tank, thus all the EVAP stuff. But this video will be really helpful for those that are trying to retain their EVAP system, live in an emission state that is really picky regarding these stuff, but most people don't care about this, right? Probably I don't see a lot of information. I think people eliminate this because they don't care about anything. Obviously, the emission system, it's not going to affect your drivability, but it will help it with the scent of that fuel that you smell, and it should, I guess, in theory, get better gas mileage, I would say, because, you know, you're cycling and it's cleaner for those that are, you know, are getting emission tested. Granted, you're doing it right. You know, everything is put in right by law, and everything is pretty much factory. That's what you want, factory. But I want to take it upon myself to have this running like it came from the factory, and I just want to have it running right. And it's also challenging for me, but we'll see if it works. I'm gonna get right into it, and then I'll get a little bit more detail regarding the wires. Might have to switch back and forth because there's a lot of stuff to remember. But other things that they share, which is not sensor operated, by that I mean ECU input takes, they're just there and they both share it. I don't know if I talked about it, but it's a 3-way valve right there. The RSX has a 2-way valve. That's also something as well. But I believe on the RSX you have all that stuff. You know, when you go to the gas tank and you put your cap on right, and then, you know, start getting these readings on your cluster saying, hey, there's something about the EVAP. You know, a lot of times it's just the cap that's not screwed on properly. They've gone as far as to put a sensor in there just to let people know, like, hey, there's nothing wrong with the EVAP. You just didn't tighten your gas cap properly. But I don't think this one has it because it's a bit older. But yeah, so let's get right into the wiring, and then I'll shed a little bit more light. All right, so obviously you're gonna need stuff to depin. I got this right here because I can't find my actual depinning stuff, but we got this one right here, which is like a universal thing. It worked out, it helped me a lot. And then I also got this little screw here, this little tiny mini screw. But essentially what you're gonna do is you're gonna locate your chassis, you know, like the one that was here with the B series. It's that 8-plug. Went ahead and labeled it, and we're first going to start out with the charcoal canister vent cylinder valve, or the release valve, vented one. And that one, according to what I was looking at, should be alpha A4, which I already went ahead and depin. So as you guys can see, is an empties right next to that blue one, which you're going to need as well. And we have it right here, as you guys can see. Sorry, we pulled it out right here. I am going to have to cut this tape in order for me to extend it a little bit more, because obviously this goes on to that side over there. But that one will go on E21. So if you guys look at it right here, counting from my left right here, and then you'll see how it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be somewhere over here. But you guys can see, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it should be over here in the corner. So that's the first one we're going to put. But let me go ahead and cut this out, and then we're going to insert it. So I went ahead and took all that tape out. You see some of the remnants right there. That light green, it also says white, but it doesn't have white. It just has these little, I guess, like chrome or silver stripes like going down on them. But essentially,
peeled it all the way back. Now it looks all messy. I'm gonna clean it up. It's gonna look good afterwards. And then I got it where like that way when I put it back, it's a lot cleaner. But as you guys can see right there, it is pin in E21. The next one's going to be literally right next to it, and it's gonna be this blue one right there. As you guys can see, it'll be in sorry, it's hard to see. It's that blue one right there on pin 3. See right there? So you got empty 1, empty 2, and then 3 is that blue one. Now it's going to go right next to it on the left side on E20. And I'll let you know what's responsible. My friends, it is the bypass cylinder valve. So we're going to go ahead and put it right there. So from A3 on the B goes on to E plug E20. Boom, we got it in the slot right there. Let's move on to the next one. So if it's 6 wires, we are 4 more to go. Well, not counting the ones that we already got in there. So in theory, let's see, 4 more to go. I believe should be 2 more or 3. I don't know. Well, let's the first valve, how I was telling you guys, it's already in there. You don't have to do anything. On the A plug, it should be pin 6, which it says to be a red, a yellow wire, but our wire is just red. You guys can see that bright red right there. And then it's already taken care of because it's actually on the RSX engine harness B21 plug. So I already looked it up. That's taken care of. All right, so the next one, moving on to the last one, which should be the FTP, fuel temperature pressure, which is for the tank. We're going to go back to A plug, and as you guys can see, is that light green right there. That is going to be alpha A29 because this is a 32 pin connector. So we're going to start out with that last one. That's 32, 31, 30, and then 29. So I'm going to go ahead and depin that one, and then we're going to put it in there as follows. So as you can see, we're moving along. We have 2 of them in there, so it's going to come out pretty good. All right, there you have it. FTP, fuel pressure, temperature pressure right there is on Echo 14. As you can see, we already have 3 of them in there. We are missing 2, I believe, so far, and I think we should be done. Next one's gonna be on this blue wire, blue connector, which is a Charlie. Went ahead and labeled it. I have to splice this one up. You guys can see it's gonna be a lot of splicing on the black tape, electrical tape. But you guys can see right there, this is a 31 pin connector. So 31, 30, 29, 28, yellow and blue right there. Blue, that's one of them. I believe this is like the signal or something. I'll obviously, when I depin and I take all this back, I'll give you the correct answer, but this is just me looking at it. And then right above it, that is Charlie 18, and that is your sensor ground, and it is green and blue. So we are almost there. Keep in mind, it differs from chassis. This is a 2000 Integra, so obviously if you had 94, 95, and 96, and 97, a lot of it's very, very different, which I found out the hard way. Also 98, 99, 2000, 2001s, ITRs, all of them are completely different. So it was super hard to find it, but I was able to get the manual and service manual, and that helped me a lot, because I know on different ones, this right here, different years, actually ends up being green and black, and that had me super confused with this one right here, Delta, this D plug, which you guys can see. It also has a light green right there, which confused me, and it has a green and black, but that's actually like a light green, not a dark green, so that also had me a little bit confused. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to find that manual, and now I'm going to put it to use. So this is the next one's on the shopping block. And there you go, we're all done. Now I have to go ahead and clean all this up again. but we were able to acquire our 2 last wires. And I told you I was going to get back at you with this. So pretty much this yellow and blue is going to be a sensor, kind of like a sensor wire signal. And then obviously the green and blue is a ground sensor. So there you go. And that green and blue, it goes on E4. That yellow signal sensor and blue goes on E5. And those all came from Charlie 28, I believe 29, sorry, 29. So yeah, because it's 32, no, 30, I mean, yeah, this will be 31, 30, 29, yeah, 29, and then 18. Alright, just clarifying. And I'm gonna go ahead and shut this one up. Yeah, I am all complete. You guys can see right there. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up so it is all uniform. Probably put some zip ties or something just to clean it up, kind of like that. Sorry. And then I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up, and then I'm gonna put it back over there, and voila, you have completed your EVAP wiring. I'm gonna go ahead and close up the video. Well, sorry, I'm not gonna close up anything because I still have to clean this up, plug it up, and then I need to obviously hook up K-Pro and then enable the burst valve. But I have completed this portion right here of the wiring. So for anybody that is confused and is looking to do this, there you go. Alright, so far we went ahead and plugged it back up. Everything seems to be running smooth. Quite frankly, I'm not getting any DTCs, any codes regarding this. I'm letting the car idle a little bit. I haven't turned it on in forever. But yeah, we're not getting no codes. Like I was telling you, I checked the K-Pro. Very easy to find. To enable it, it's already enabled. It's been enabled because currently I'm just running on a base map and it's enabled. So the purge has been doing what it's supposed to. Everything else has not been connected to the ECU, which is now connected to the ECU. So I am hoping that is working correctly. So I'm gonna leave it as is. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the video. Just showing you guys a little bit of what I did to connect your EVAP to your case swap, and hopefully it's working. I mean, no codes, getting no codes or nothing, so it seems to be working like it's supposed to. You know, all the pins are put in correctly on the E-plug, so I'm not sure at this point, but everything seems to be working. No codes, car's idling just fine. So yeah. Alright, so closing out the video, you guys saw I detailed what I did. It's a total of 6 wires minus, well, I don't count the ground because it's already in there, but it's 6 wires as you guys saw from the B series or your D series. Well, I'm not too sure about D series, but B series for sure, and my RSX ECUs you guys saw. Very easy. Once already done for you, you come kind of look at it, and that's 2 wires already off the bat, so that leaves you with 4 if you come and look at it. So I did a total of 4 wires, to be honest, or pin. So yeah, and great update. The smell is gone. I no longer am getting that vapor, kind of like fuel smell, so it looks like it's working. I also went into K-Pro and I noticed that a lot of inputs they utilize, like, because a lot of people do not use EVAP systems. So, you know, I noticed that you can, you know, use like reverse lockout and have it like switch over to like their E21 or E20, which happens to be all EVAP control circuits and stuff like that. So it looks like those circuits are working because they use them for inputs for other stuff in the vehicle that people are using, like reverse lockout. I think I'm not sure about boost controller or stuff like that, but it's inputs that are there that are not being utilized, which leads me to believe that they're working in the ECU. It's just, you know, most people don't retain their EVAP system. Sorry about that, I had a brain fart. But other than that, it seems like it's working flawlessly. You guys saw no codes.
And you know, maybe when I drive and it cycles, you know, it might pick up an issue, which I might get a check engine. I do not know. I know when I got the car, I got a check engine, but I looked it up with my little cheap scanner, and it was something really stupid. I ended up deleting it and it never came back. So who knows? It might have been something from the EVAP because I forgot. So maybe when I drive the car later on in the future a little bit more, it might pop out again, and then I can see exactly how to troubleshoot it and how to fix it. But overall, as you guys see right now, I'm sitting right here. This is usually what the smell is really potent and strong. I'm not getting the smell anymore. So it looks like the EVAP did its thing. Vacuum sucked up in the vacuum once purged, and I think I got it. Keep in mind, everybody, that every chassis is going to be different. So having a manual to look up the ECU pinouts will help out a lot, so that way you can pass them over to your current K-swap or your new setup ECU. It should all be there for working. Obviously you're gonna have to check to see what inputs are needed to be swapped over, but I don't know if I'm gonna do a later video detailing maybe like for different chassis, maybe like an EK chassis or something. I'm not too old because I'm not too familiar, but who knows? If you guys let me know what vehicle to do it, I might just do the whole pinout thing, you know, just so you guys have an idea. But it's only for K-swap because that's the only thing I'm familiar with. But it's fairly easy, to be honest. So I hope this video helped you guys out, and it was informative. I'm sorry if I went too fast or didn't really talk a little bit about something. I try to make the video as short as possible, but it's hard to cramp a lot of information, especially when it's good information in a video. But we're working. It's working, and I am glad now I have a K-swap with a working EVAP system. So this is crucial for anybody that lives in those states that definitely need this. So, you know, I haven't, like, don't feel bad about everybody out there that, you know, overlooks EVAP. I shed some light on it, and I hope that I was able to help you guys get your EVAP working on your K-swap. Make sure to leave a like down below, comment, like, subscribe, and follow, and catch me for more videos. See you guys.